Definitely seeming like it's coming after this military guy comes out on his channel first before the initial event of the White House. And then he says this. So he doesn't say a word. This was just released right here. Look, 9 hours ago. And the strange thing is if you go in the comment section, this guy released it was in the middle. So you can see him liking somebody's comment, and then basically they say, oh, he can't tell you exactly what he's saying. He can't say a word. But it made it seem like it was linked to something else that just happened too, because I wrote it down for y'all. And I want to hear what y'all got to say about this. So this was posted 9 hours ago, and the White House went dark a few hours before that. So he said this on the same exact time period of the White House going dark. And I want to pull that up really quick so you can see this, because this is some type of cryptic message, don't you think? What do y'all think here in the chat? This is not conventional to me. And here's the White House. I'm going to give you the timeline for this and everything. The White House goes dark. And this was about at 11:59 p.m. just last night. You can see on the top of that time marker there. And if you can, I'm going to pull it up again. But then you can see on June 18th, even at 3 a.m., that it was still dark. And somebody said, oh, that's not normal because it's usually 11 p.m., even though that's 1 hour after. Another person says EMP. So we're getting some strange cryptic stuff happening with these messages here. Secondly, on top of all of the messages that's coming out, we see some stuff that's moving throughout United States as we speak, showing us that something else is potentially in wait. And as that is happening, you have the fog has shown back up, and people are saying in New York, they think they're covering up something that is potentially in the atmosphere, that they're potentially moving. And so what we end up finding was something to tie into this story. And before this is over with, we're going to show you what's disgustingly in the fog and what's been happening, what parasitic organism creature that has been growing out of this later down the stream. But this guy, his wife got a photo, and in this photo right here, he's seeing this.
It's just an update on normal things that are happening. My wife was driving, just on the highway today, and she saw this. And she took a picture, and she was like, hey, what are these? And I was like, I don't know. And she said there was like 15, 20 of these on this truck, and they were headed north towards New York City. And if you look on here, it has nav air on here, so I looked that up. It's basically saying that it's controlled by the Naval Air Systems Command. These are one-time use boxes.
All right, let's look into this deeper really quick right here. So this is what I found when I researched it. I typed the entire number in. Based on what you provided, it goes in to say it's likely refers to Navy or Marine Corps, part of a system associated with aircraft launch and recovery equipment. Because it don't look like missiles. It don't look like it'd be missiles would be big enough for that. Here's another thing it says. The package assembly likely associated with AM2 matting, which is a component of naval aircraft launch and recovery equipment managed by Nave Air PMA 251 Program Office. May be linked to a delivery order contract specified by the number that was on there. So that's moving through New York. And have you seen anything moving through your area? I'm looking at the chat right now. So again, if you have seen some stuff moving, we can take that into account. We want to go into something deeper, the cryptic messages. We're starting to see moves and stuff happening all out United States. And we see this call sign with the doomsday plane that was sent something very weird happening on that end as well. We want to look at this because this just flowed through. All this stuff is just happening. So a lot of people asking, "Is this today?" It's happening today. It's all breaking in. Check this out right here. This is one of the doomsday planes. And what was strange about this movement here? We've seen it. It basically went around the East Coast, and we got it on flight radar right here. And it came from Shreveport, Louisiana, and it went all the way up to a base in where? In basically DC. And so here's the interesting thing. It's usually under the call sign 0, but instead it was under the call sign 6. That was what was different. Secondly, on top of the call sign and everything else, it's strange. Somebody said this right here that made a lot of sense because this was a move that happened whenever a wartime activation potentially could happen. And I read the comment here. Somebody said it landed at 10 last night. It's a smart move on many fronts. The least of all reasons, always be prepared for anything. In this type of volatile situation, Bush flew it in 9/11. So we're seeing this move happen because this plane will be over United States and it will be constantly fueled up and be able to fly out in case whatever is Trump or whoever needs to get on there, and they can stay airborne at any given moment. So we're seeing some things happen that is basically playing out in order, faction to the wartime moves and everything else with the strikes that's happening in the Middle East with Iran and more. So here's another thing about this cryptic message. We looked at this, and this was the Air Force message that came out a few days ago. There were some other people saying a little bit more things about this that we want to look at here. And it was a level 246, and they were saying it could be specific code within a particular organization or system, like a medical facilities triad system. It could also be referenced to a particular code or broadcast within the U.S. Air Force, although this is less likely according to Unilab. Now, there were more people that came out, and I said this yesterday because we had a lot of ex-military people on the channel, and I don't know if you guys read these messages or decode them, but if you're live here right now or after this video is over, let us know in the comment section. Somebody says, that's a bit scary. Another person says, is the military training against citizens? Well, from what we can see right here, we can see the PSYOP here in the riots. This is actively something that just happened. This is in Portland. The PSYOP in the riots that's happening right now, these are Antifa thugs who was out here. As far as them going against civilians and stuff like that, we have seen some of the arrests be like basically people who are not involved with most of this, because we told you there was a federal unit that was activated. This unit, we don't know who's being hired into them. It is not the Marines. And so we've seen this because we've seen the insignia. It was Homeland Security. And we've seen the numbers on the patch. So again, like I said, if they were told to carry out certain different orders and you think that, oh, this is just about, well, America's going to be safe again. Again, I don't believe 100% that we don't have a dualistic government. I don't see how people can see this stuff and then we never see any of the criminals locked up. We don't see Fauci locked up. We don't see Bill Gates locked up. We don't see any of them fools locked up. Yet we still believe that we didn't get slammed on our heads in 2020. I've seen people getting slammed on their heads in videos during the lockdowns, and we act like those same predatoristic enforcement teams aren't here. Don't get it wrong. I know certain people in law enforcement that is not like that, but that doesn't mean that there's not an activation happening. And further into this activation, what they're saying here is that the sleeper cells could be activated inside the United States. Potentially. And the thing is, when I seen all of this happening, I was saying like, well, we had all these people come in right now and everything is playing out on a slow scale because it's like chess. And again, we think like, oh, well, China and Russia is going to get involved right away if Israel and the United States go and start sending bombs in Iran. But that's not the case. This is a long scale played out chapter. And the fact that they're saying that the fact that we're seeing the dark outs and everything else that's playing along in the chapter, this seems like they're going to edge us closer into another scenario slowly. Now, the cryptic message with the U.S. Air Force sent out. So I said they're using a one-time pad. On top of that, they're using signal hopping. You'll never even come close to cracking that, and LLMs are of no use when it comes to encryption. That's likely a 256-bit DES AES. Now, reading off in the comments here, a lot of people have much worries about the upcoming weeks and months. And I was telling you they released something during the chaos and no one noticed. And now people are starting to look up at the sky and starting to see, like, oh my God, well, the sky doesn't look as normal. And we got clips of that right now. People are actually starting to see.
Making the mad dash. Oh my gosh. I've never seen anything like this.
So, for the first time ever confirmed, we put a video clip out of them finding something in our atmosphere that is not normal, that shouldn't have been there, that's never been here. They had it in Asia, they detected it over there, and I'm guessing this was dispersed as well. And we broke down every single scenario as they hide the videos on here, and people get unsubscribed and they ask, why can I see this? And in the comments, you can't see some of them sometimes. So this is the channel that if you find it, you need to stick with it, because we're talking about most of the things that people are not noticing, giving you updates on everything that's going to affect you in live time, helping you out throughout the week and telling you, hey, this is the steps they're taking. This is the contracts. These are what's actually happening. And we're putting hours into the research, been doing this 8+ years. So again, another huge thing that's happening, we have behind everything is called cyber takna exercise, and it's this cyber warrior drill. So this whole scenario about everything going dark, this cryptic message, it seems like it's all aligned up around that perfect chapter. And during the midst of everything, while we're having all this happening, the biological plan is here. John Hopkins, they've signed the document with DARPA. They said they were going to modify everything in our environment up to September 2025. And they have been doing it. They've kept it up. People seen all types of crazy stuff. We've had blue freaking snow. We've had all that stuff show up, like glowing blue snow. I've had all the stuff sent to me and everything. I mean, I could pull that up for you really quick. But again, why did they do this? Because they said the biosensors was something that they really needed to use in this live tracking system. So a live tracking system in real time is the con op that they're going to play on us, and it's immersed inside of this stuff. We got to look at this slide, though, me and you right now. We have to look at the fog and the creatures and the stuff that is growing within it, and people potentially sniffing in and taking all this stuff in, and their animals acting weird and stuff like that, and they're looking strange. So let's go to this really quick, because here is the slide of what's transformed in the fog while everybody's been paying attention to everything else. Natural water flows are happening here, but what you're looking at is certain organisms that are living creatures swimming around. This is Mike Adams' slide. He showed this. And those green looking things there, those are freaking looking eggs. These are more egg sacs that's developing. This was in the fog. This was dropped. This was a weapon system. This was a biological warfare plan. And the biosensors was activated within them. They now came out with the plan in June saying, we're going to have a lifetime network with biosensors that we're going to use for this next pandemic operation. So we're in a multi-layered asymmetrical scenario. As you see these things on here, apparently these are other eggs that it was moving. There was movement inside of these eggs. And this is, again, what was dropped on us. And people keep saying, well, I feel sick when the fog hits me. And I keep telling you, look, this is not just normal fog. And I said, don't let the rain touch your skin. And you can see these assimilated circular things together. Look at that. That's crazy, because it almost looked like a DNA strand. The way it assembled together. Here's more of it where they basically start to come together, and they like, it's just disgusting, dude. The stuff that we're going through right now. And we're talking about a world of freedom, and we're talking about a world where dark people keep ruling and keep running stuff, and I'm just tired of it. And the average person wants to fight with each other. We got a much higher mission and purpose here. And when you watch these videos and you tune into this, and then I tell you about the basic efforts we can take together, this is going to be important, because every single week I'm gathering even more information right now as we speak from what's happening in each location. So you need to subscribe here if you're not, because what we're doing here is during this Fox situation, We also made the BioShield protocol 8 years plus. I went through parasitic stuff. We're talking about how to aerially cleanse parasites out of your house, detoxing the lungs right after this stuff happened. We talk about lactobacillus, one of the secret things that rebuilt my gut when the parasites burrowed through it. One of the top probiotics out there. This is all listed, and I talk about the combination of everything together when you use that. I will drop that link here in the comment section for you so you can go in the live chat and you can click that and you can get the ebook, because what we've essentially done here is prepare us for the bio warfare at hand. The bio warfare at hand that's coming is a merge between all of the warfare and everything else. They literally came out with the FEMA strategic plan saying that, hey, during this riot, during the civil unrest, what we're going to do, and let's show some of the little civil unrest that's happening. What we're essentially going to do is distract people with that, and we're going to drop a bioweapon. And once we drop that bioweapon, it doesn't matter if we don't go full scale on the war. We're going to have the internal warfare, the biosensors activated, and we're going to use frequency, which this month, Project Ouija, which sounds demonic, but it's happening right now as we speak. We have covered this over the last weeks, the last months, and we said people will get more agitated, and then the riots start happening as soon as we heard this happen. So a lot of channels are not talking about this, and I'm thankful for all the channels out there doing what they do. We're a team all together, even though I don't know half those people. But what I'm saying is the activation right now between you and me, this is going to get the effort done. And if you can send information to me, you want to get this ebook, email sjackson2447@gmail.com. I will get with you. I'll tell you the full steps you need to take. Some people have a little process, and I wanted you to get all this information coming up. So the next thing you need to look at, they're hiding most of the videos here. They're simply not allowing people to see it, the post that I do here. And you can't let them do that. We'll have videos on the left-hand side. Share this report out. Let people see what nobody's really talking about. And when you come back here, we're going to have a lot more information down this cycle. So I appreciate everybody.